Tonight on Here and Now investigates the not-so-pleasant things in our water supply. CBC first identified the issue of chemicals known as THMs more than a dozen years ago. Here and Now's investigative team dug into the numbers to see what's changed, and you might be surprised with the results. Here and Now's Jen White has our story.
Water everywhere, but not a drop fit to drink. In Pooch Cove, many people don't like what's coming out of their taps.
It's very bad. We don't drink it, we don't wash in it, we don't cook in it, we hate to bathe in it.
Noelle Tobin says the water from her taps looks like steeped tea, and when it's used for cooking, it turns salt meat black. Like many people in Pooch Cove, Vern Noseworthy gets his water elsewhere.
The big majority of people from Pooch Cove get their water from the Lions Club. Some do, like me, go to a relative or good friend and use the artesian well.
We go to the Lions Club. We usually fill up like the 2 5-gallon litres. Probably every 2 or 3 days we go through that.
The water in Pooch Cove is monitored regularly, just like every other community in Newfoundland and Labrador, by the provincial government. While the color and chlorinated taste might be a turn-off, the province's testing system makes sure that it's safe. But it's what residents can't see that could be the real issue. In this province, many of the water sources are surface water supplies, like ponds and rivers. Those bodies of water can collect organic material, including dead leaves and animal waste. That water needs to be chlorinated for it to be safe to drink. But when chlorine mixes with that matter, a chemical reaction takes place, and it can produce something called disinfection byproducts. The most common of these are trihalomethanes, or THMs, which include chloroform, a possible carcinogen. Health Canada says there are risks involved when you drink water with THMs. The website mentions several studies on humans that have found a link between long-term exposure to high levels of THMs and the risk of bladder and colon cancers. Studies also show that high levels of THMs may increase problems with pregnancy, including miscarriages. But the Health Canada site says these are risks, that further research is necessary. Health Canada and the provincial government both say that even with the potential problems that come from chlorinating town water supplies, the benefits of chlorination outweigh the risk of THMs. The number of towns with high THM levels in this province is growing. In 2000, 63 communities were above Health Canada's guidelines. Today, 13 years later, 119, nearly double that amount. The province posts all of its water testing information here on its Water Resources Portal website. Pooch Cove's levels are more than 3 times the guideline. But not everyone is aware of the elevated THM levels, or that they can pose a risk not just from drinking the water, but also from showering in it.
You don't know what you're drinking, and it's ridiculous. Like in 2013, you should have clean drinking water. We're surrounded by water. You should be able to have clean drinking water without chemicals.
Environment Minister Tom Henderson says THMs are the lesser of two evils when it comes to water quality.
We are monitoring it. We make sure and we're addressing the most immediate danger to them, which is to make sure that there is nothing in the water that's going to make them sick. We believe that, it'll take a lifetime of exposure to THMs to make some significant differences to your health.
He says while the province takes care of testing, it's up to the municipalities to relay that information to the public.
If an anomaly comes up with regard to, any risks to the residents, right, we would jump on that immediately. But with THMs, that's a long-term one. So naturally, we would, when we release our results and that would go back to the municipalities. And it's up to them then to put an advisory out that, here's the state of your water.
Bonavista is another town in the province with high THMs in its water supply. The results are posted regularly in the town hall office for people to see. The current level sits at more than 2.5 times Health Canada's guidelines.
What exactly does this mean?
Resident Elizabeth Zemdegs is concerned about the issue. She's been paying close attention to the numbers, and she says there's not a lot of information available about what those numbers mean.
People are very scared, and because they know something's wrong, and they're turning around, they have to boil water all the time, and it's very difficult. You can buy 4 great big huge 4 liters of water, and that doesn't take you much through the day, and so they're very upset about it because it's been going on for a long time, and no one's giving them answers.
Town Clerk David Hiscock is frustrated too. He's consulted with experts about the possible long-term effects of THMs.
Why on the one end, if they say it may never cause a problem, why on the other end would they come out and have parameters set and do the testing and tell you that you're over the limit? So you're frustrated and confused.
When you think about it,
John Waring is with the David Suzuki Foundation. He says the provincial government should have done something about this long ago.
If the government is known for over a decade of these high levels, and we know of the potential health effects to humans, I think the concern that people have is, should be why isn't government acting? And the longer that action is delayed, the more possibility more and more people will get sick.
The engineer for the town of Pooch Cove says they can do more to improve their water system, but they need extra money to do it. They're concerned about THM levels, but with money in short supply, there are no immediate plans to reduce them, something most residents are aware of.
Well, it would be really nice if you could just turn on your tap and use your water, but a small community like Pooch Cove, I just cannot afford a big filtration system.
And towns like Bonavista have discovered that those prices are astronomical.
The figures we've been given is going to cost us $12 million to put in a suitable water treatment plant, and it's going to cost us in excess of $500,000 a year to operate it. So we can't even afford the capital cost.
And Jen White joins us now live with more on this story. Jen, we saw in Bonavista there, $12 million just in capital, $500,000 a year in operating. That's a pricey fix for just one town.
I know, just Bonavista alone, and that's only one of many, as I mentioned in the piece, 119 communities across Newfoundland and Labrador currently dealing with these high THM levels.
So that's hundreds of millions of dollars to fix the entire problem. If towns can't afford a filtration system and you live in the town, what can you do to protect yourself from this?
Well, Henderson says on an individual level, people can purchase personal water filtration systems, either something that attaches to their tap or a jug that they can keep in their fridge. But it's important that these filters are certified with NSF standard 35. So you have to make sure that that is on the filter so that they're taking out the THMs.
Okay, so that's there on the label if you go to buy it. Obviously, this is a complicated story when you're dealing with science and water qualities and things like THMs. How can people find out more about this?
Well, there's a lot of facts and figures involved, as you just mentioned. So people can go to our website, cbc.ca/NL. There's lots of information on there. There's also an interactive map, which is kind of neat. You can click on it and see what the THM levels are in your town.
Okay, Jen White, thanks so much.
Thanks, David.